So we're here in turtle. Something super common I see, and this bugs the shit out of me, is like, especially in tournament, like for some reason this person will turtle up. Maybe I got behind him when we were standing. Maybe I passed his guard and then he turtled up. And then you'll hear everyone in the crowd yell, take his back, take his back, take his back. And we've had multiple people at our school specifically do this, and I've seen this at other schools too, where like the second they hear the whole audience screaming, take his back, people get real excited. And while it's not incorrect to take your seatbelt, I would see people like grab their seatbelt and then like fall off the top as they're going for hooks. Now all of a sudden they're on their back and they're like looking at me as the coach. I'm like, that wasn't me that told you to jump, bro. Like, that wasn't me. So when you're here, something that I really like to do is, you can take the seatbelt by all means, but what I like to do initially is I like to hold position. I like to do double underhooks, and I like to body lock people, okay? From here, what I like to do is I like to keep my grips tight and then start to slowly work to jam my knee between his elbow and his ribs. So on this far side, I have my knee jammed. From here, I'm gonna step on my partner's ankle and I'm gonna pull it sideways. So as I'm around the side here, I jam my knee between his elbow and his thigh, and then I step on his leg and I start dragging it out. From there, I'll start to tilt my partner down, and I'm gonna keep stepping on that ankle until I can take that first bottom hook. And then what I wanna do is I like to triangle my legs or cross my ankles, and then I can either do this with my body lock, or I wanna catch his far shoulder in this power half Nelson and stretch my partner out. So I'm underneath his shoulder and I'm behind his head, and I'm stretching out his spine. And after I give him a good hip thrust on the spine, now I'll release and I'll take my second hook, and then I start to attack. Now we're feeding our chokes and doing all that good jazz. So what happens here is, I'll turn one more time so you can see this part. So I have my grip, I jam my knee in, and I step on the leg. And now I start pushing his ankle outwards. And as I push the ankle out, I'll start sagging my partner down, and I'm stomping on that ankle to hold it in place as I take that first hook up here in his thigh. Then I'm gonna hook the ankle and triangle my legs. Now I can stay here on the body, and I've actually tapped people by doing this before, by just hipping into them. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. Or I can catch this far shoulder as I start hipping in. But I need to open up this space, because what happens is here I was on the body. I want you to ball up your body real quick. If I release and I go like this, both his thigh and this arm can stop me from putting that second hook in. So if I have a good deep hook, and that's what I have right now is one deep hook, I need to find a way to connect my lower body to my partner tight. By crossing my ankles, even better to me if I can triangle my legs. And I can start hipping in and stretching my partner out. Now that I have that space open, I can start looking to throw my leg into the mix. Now I have my second hook. Now we're here, now we're doing our traditional attacking sequences, and we're good to go, okay? It's a very basic way of dragging your partner down, opening up the legs. I connect to their upper body. You can do this with a seatbelt, but don't get too excited and like fall off the top. If you're gonna seatbelt, I like to kind of like drop backwards and then jam my knee inside. And now I'm trying to step between my partner's legs and sag his leg out. As I drop to the side, I place that first deep hook, I triangle my legs, and then here you can stretch your partner out and then take that second hook. And now we're immediately fighting for our chokes and all that good jazz, okay? Questions on this like very basic turtle back take? Questions, right? Yeah, one more time, got it. So I'm here, I have my grip here, or double unders. I really like the double unders because it kind of guarantees that you don't fall off the top. Because the double unders is also how I do like fancy rolling back takes, where I go double unders and I forward roll over the body, and then I'll pull people into my lap, and I'll show you guys that in a minute if you want to see it. But I really like this because I can like kind of lean forward and both my arms jam underneath his armpits. And now I jam my knee inside, I step between, and I start dragging his heel out. Now as I fall, I'm taking that deep hook across the thigh, and then I'm feeding into a triangle on my legs. Even if I don't hook his leg, I like this triangle to add a bunch of tension, to stretch out his spine. And then I throw that second hook in. But I really want to focus on making my partner uncomfortable when you're on their back especially, okay? Questions. Stretching your partner out, one hook. No. All right, let's get it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's regroup. Again, I'm gonna try to sit in this lane while I'm here. Okay, any questions on this? So there's nothing wrong with doing it with a seatbelt, but just be aware you're risking falling over the top doing it with the seatbelt. And when you do that double underhooks on the body lock, that's how it feels super secure. And this is the exact same thing. If Albert, I can grab you standing real quick. If I'm behind people standing and I have this rear body lock like this, I feel good here. I feel like even if I like turned my body like this, because I have double underhooks, I'm never gonna slip off the top. And I'll see people on the back, they'll do this, which you can do, but just be aware that if I like move to the side, people can like, yeah, like it's not as secure because I'm not getting caught by his armpits. And that's what I want. When I take that rear body lock, whether we're on turtle or standing, I like being able to turn if I need to, and my arms will jam against people's armpits. And it just feels like a very solid, secure position. Because there's other things like, when you're standing, there's things like chest wrapping people where you're here and then you're just dragging as hard as you can, pinching your elbow on their hip and sagging your ear on their back. And you can drag people down really heavy style. But I couldn't do that with a seatbelt without the risk of falling off the top, okay? The other thing from turtle is this, and this is gonna be a little more complicated. I'm gonna have to do a little 180 real quick. So now I'm gonna jam my knee in, but I'm actually gonna be facing my partner's feet and hips, okay? And from here, I can either grab and reach all the way around my partner's hips and grab the top of his ankle, or I can grab the top of his ankle and his knee, okay? But my knee is now pointing like directly towards his feet. I'm not pointing sideways like I was on the first one. I'm literally like looking at the back of my partner. And I'm grabbing his far foot. And as I do this, I'm gonna grab and I'm gonna pull, or I can grab his hip, but I pull and I stomp on his calf. Now I'm gonna pull him straight backwards as I sit to my butt, and I'm gonna keep that stomp to then take my first deep hook, okay? Again, I can triangle here, but now I don't have that body lock position, so I'm not ready to stretch, but I can look for this shoulder as I stomp my legs, and I'm trying to hunt this shoulder however I can grab it. And now I can recreate the seatbelt, and then right here I can stretch my partner out and I can take that second hook again. But if we go back one step, when I'm here, this is also the truck position. So from here, what I like to do is I like to put this near side foot, I like to try to bring his heel to his butt, and I like to bring it either into my near side or my far side armpit. So I'll pull it down with his toes and I'll gather his foot in my armpit. I'll connect my hands in a gable grip or a rear naked choke, and then I'll just start stretching. Okay? If you do it from this armpit, the one that's like closer to his butt, it becomes like a traditional groin stretch. When you do it to this armpit, this is the one that a lot of people aren't aware of, it becomes a hip flexor stretch.
Oh, shit.
And it's a lot tighter in my opinion, because it feels like it's gonna tear your quad.
Right here.
Yeah, your quad and your hip flexor. And this is also where calf slicers come in. You can pull from here, but it's really effective when you bend their toes and you collapse. You good? Okay, I was gonna say, hey, but it's really effective when you go here. I know people that when you grab here, flex your ankle really hard, yeah, like that, they won't tap to this just because their leg is like flexed. So I'll cover their toes and crush them, and then I'll start hipping in, and you can even stomp on your own leg.
Yep, they come on faster.
To help finish this, okay? I've also seen people like Dean Lister, he teaches the hobbler, where you grab their heel, and it becomes like a heel hook and a calf slicer, and it's very, it comes on super fast. I've never done that one slow and safe, so just be aware. But we're here, and the second I get here, I can kick for the back, I can stay here for calf slicers, I can crotch rip in the near side armpit, I can crotch rip with more of a hip flexor and quad on the far armpit, I can stretch and catch his shoulder, pull his arm across my waist and go behind the head, and now we have twisters, we have neck cranks. So there's a lot of submissions here from this specific entrance, and I like to use this one a lot, okay? But again, I'm not facing him like I was on the first one. I'm literally facing his hips. I literally want to be like the opposite. His head's that way, I want my head to be this way. I jam my knee in again, but now it's pointing here. I double up on this foot, and then I step on his leg. As I sit to my butt, I'm gonna keep stepping, because that's my little placeholder, until I can get my first deep hook. Immediately, I can triangle my legs, crotch rip, far armpit, crotch rip, calf slice. Again, I like to go at the end of the lever as I and we hip in. You can do the hobble if you want. You catch this far arm across your chest, and what you do is you're gonna stretch towards the sky like a zombie and pull the arm behind your head. And now I go behind his neck, and then I connect my hands in an S grip, and very slowly, we have that. Otherwise, I can just connect to this near side shoulder and pull him into my lap. So there's a bunch of submissions there, and sometimes I'll pass up a couple of those on better people. I'll take their back, and as I enter the truck, I'll like go for one of the submissions, and then they'll like spaz out, defending the sub, and then they'll end up giving me their back. Or they thought I was going for their back, and I'll pause in the truck, and I'll just submit him like right there, okay?
How does he get out of that truck position?
So the truck is actually kind of interesting. So go ahead and go to turtle again and turn a little bit for me. So the truck's kind of interesting, and that's because when I enter the truck position here, if I move a little bit, right now, my butt is on the ground. His butt is on the ground, okay? So now watch. His butt is on my stomach. I'm the attacker. I want you to extend a little and pull my butt under your stomach. Don't extend up, clamp down, and push a little. There. Now, just pause. Get my butt under your stomach a little bit more. There, right here. Now I'm like on my butt's on his stomach. You see this? So whoever basically has put their opponent's butt onto their stomach is the attacker. Because right here, I don't have an angle to grab his foot, but he has an angle to grab my foot. Yeah, you see what I mean? Or right here, like I'm nowhere near his far leg, but he can wrap up my leg on this crotch ripper. Yeah, it's like a naked choke over my thigh, my shin. Yeah, exactly. And then you just zip it in. You see what I mean? Because my butt is on him, I don't really have a good angle to attack. So if somebody initiated this position on me, watch. I push on their knee, I grab their hip, and I'm gonna start trying to pull it onto my stomach as I put my toes down like shrimp. Shrimp. And now I've shut my heel down and my shin down. Now I'm on the attack. Now I'm on the hunt. So I've had certain people that they don't know this battle, and I would slowly let them put me in the truck, and I would reverse it, and then I would submit them.
So whoever's butt is on whoever's chest, that's who's attacking.
Yeah. Get their butt on your stomach.
When y'all are side to side in the truck position, that's considered a 50-50 as well, right?
You can look at it as a 50-50, yeah. Because, yeah, you're very neutral. Because now it's like you could both grab calf slicers, you could both chase each other's back, you can both try to pivot and pull the hips up, you can both shrimp it. It becomes this crazy scramble. And I've done very lazy versions of this and gotten my back take. Like I've initiated this back take and gotten my back take and been like,
so would you consider it a safer option instead of going for the calf slicers to just work for the back? Or do you think?
It's a preference, man, because there's some people that like, they're very good at defending the back, and there's some people that are very good at defending positions like the truck. So sometimes if I feel that they know they have a good truck defense, immediately I'll resort to taking their back. And if I feel like they have a good back defense and they don't know the truck a lot, I'll capitalize on their weakness and just start attacking that avenue. Yeah, and so let me take your back real quick, like sit in my lap. This is also a thing that you can do to people when you're regularly on their back. You can take your seatbelt, intentionally fall to the choking arm, and then intentionally put in a butterfly hook until you can cross your ankles underneath, and then release your choking arm and catch the near side shoulder and bump him into the truck. And now I'm doing calf slicers and other things. So it's in kind of like a slow motion, like I'm on the back with my seatbelt, I fall to the choking side and I take out my top hook, I bump him in the ass as I catch the top shoulder, and now I'm pulling him up. Now I have calf slicers, crotch rippers, all that good jazz. Okay.
Wizard. He's my head.
All right.
That's crazy, bro.
Questions? So it's very similar to the first thing. Your knee jams in, and instead of hooking, now you're stepping on their calf. You grab their far foot, and then you sit to your butt. And as you're still stepping on their calf, you take that first deep hook. You can just go right to the back. If you don't want to do any of this crazy shit, take the back. You're basically in the same position as earlier. You just don't have their body yet. The first one we started with their body, and then we basically did this. Now we're grabbing their legs while we do it. That's all that's happening. Questions? Okay, whatever you say. If you say so, weirdo. All right, let's get it. On 3. 1, 2, 3.